Hello, I'm XTreeCat and welcome back to Seed Sunday. Seed Sunday is the weekly series I run on my channel where I show you Seed's Minecraft console edition, which are particularly interesting and worth checking out in some way. The console edition, if you don't know, has limited sized worlds, so everything seems to be a lot more condensed there, which means when you find something crazy, you can find oftentimes other cool stuff around it, and it's just really fascinating to see how much can fit into a small space. Well, what if I said I found the craziest seed I think I've ever found, at least post Woodland Mansions, because this is a seed which has so many things which would be nuts by themselves. They're rare anomalies that you wouldn't normally expect to find in a Minecraft world, but it has lots of them combined. So it has a floating desert temple, it has a floating jungle temple, it has a floating igloo, again, 3 floating things, already crazy enough by itself, but then at least on Xbox One, it has the craziest thing I've ever seen, which you'll probably never see on any other platform. It's a wooden mansion, or naturally at least, it's a wooden mansion which is combined with another wooden mansion. That's right, a double wooden mansion, a mega overlapping weird wooden mansion combination. It's super strange, we'll talk about that more, but the crazy thing about this that I didn't spot until just a little bit after I explored the whole thing is that just nearby it also has a witch's hut. So a witch's hut and 2 wooden mansions combined in this crazy corner of the world. I just have to show you all of this seed in today's video because it's one of the craziest things I've seen in this world, and I'm going to say crazy a lot because it's that darn crazy. It's so crazy, I have to say crazy enough that you don't even understand what the correct word crazy means, and that's just how crazy this video actually is. So I hope you do all enjoy it. Please do like the video and let me know if you do like it because it helps out the channel a lot. Let's know you do like Seed Sunday, but let's get first into mentioning that the seed did come in from Mr. Smiley1 on Twitter. So big thank to him for sharing the seed. He said it was just like the floating desert temple and the floating jungle, and I was like, wow, that sounds kind of crazy, but what makes it even better is the fact that if you type in his seed, which is on screen right now, you'll spawn over here on a mountain, which is always an interesting enough spawn because you can see spruce forest, regular forest, plains, swamp, roof forest. You can kind of pick which one you want, like, oh, I've got all the choices in the world, but realistically, you're going to want to head straight over here. Let's just pretend that you've made that decision because, yeah, like I said, it's got 2 wooden mansions both found this close together. So having a wooden mansion this close to spawn is already a nice thing by itself. If this was one wooden mansion, like in the, world like this, it would be interesting enough to look at because it's 3 stories, it's got a pretty decent 3rd floor, which means lots of evokers, lots of, totem undying, and it's also, it's blended into nature in a pretty interesting, fascinating way. So, yeah, it's a nice enough wooden mansion by itself, but then, as you can see, as the wooden mansion goes along, it actually blends directly into the second one. And like I said, it's not just 2 wooden mansions close together, one of the wooden mansions is genuinely overlapping the other one, so this one spawned first, and then this one spawned afterwards, which means that you have this very weird situation where, as you can see, this wooden mansion is only partially generated. So if we dig through here, and we destroy a block, you can see how like midway through this corridor it randomly ends up in the other wooden mansion's like main room, because this one generated first, then got its blocks overwritten by that one, which means you'll find some rooms where there's like some blocks of both. And my point being is it's just a really bizarre experience because this wooden mansion is barely completed. Obviously the entrance is like missing because again the entrance would be the other way, but now it's gone, which means you have this very bizarre situation where you have half a wooden mansion here, but if you do go through to this one, you break through the windows or you do whatever, then you'll find that this one's entrance actually ends up in the other one. So there's no official way into this thing because this wooden mansion's entrance was overwritten, and this wooden mansion's entrance ends up in the other wooden mansion's chest room. And I'm saying wooden mansion a lot too now, but yeah, crazy and wooden mansion, they're the words of the day as it turns out, because yeah, this is just the weirdest, craziest thing I've run across in any time. Just 2 wooden mansions combined. I've never seen this naturally on any platform before, but here we have it naturally just in a regular Minecraft Xbox world, and yeah, this is just one of the things that I feel like is worth experiencing just to see what it looks like. So yeah, lots of chests, lots of stuff, lots of bonuses. It's also a pretty notable thing because it obviously has a spider room up here, which is always a rare little find. It has a lot of other, like rare little things around here, and it's just a good source of, all the things you want from a wooden mansion. Diamond blocks, diamond hoes, diamond armor, and of course the evokers for the totems up and dying. So yeah, the interesting thing about this to me also is the fact that you could probably work on this, make it a mega mansion easier by just bridging across some of these gaps, making this go a little bit wider. You could see how this would look really natural with just a few blocks changed. Like if you just like, oh yeah, just place some blocks there instead of there, you'll make it suddenly look incredibly natural, and then all of a sudden you've got yourself a double wooden mansion which people think you built yourself or something. And again, that's something you might really desire, and that is why this is the best thing on the seed and the first thing you want to come to. Also, it's got a witch's hut nearby. I think honestly, it's funny seeing the witch's hut next to the the wooden mansion. Like, oh yeah, the witch has a really nice hut built itself, but it's not quite as nice as the other pretend villagers, because again, obviously, witch and villagers are both based on the same thing. thing. Fun fact, there we go, before we move on to the other crazy things about this seed. So yeah, let's talk about what else is going on here, because, you know, the Wooden Mansions are nice, but maybe you're like, oh yeah, well I've been there, Toy Cat, well what about the rest? I don't want to explore it myself, I want to see what's going on here, and if that is what you're saying, or if it's not, it's a video, so, you know, your input doesn't technically change anything, because we're going to go to the very far southwest corner and show you the ice plains biome found over here. It's kind of nice because, as you can see, it's always nice to have snow in a world. You get polar bears, you get all this good stuff, you get a frozen river, a pretty wide one as well, and then you get an igloo at the very edge of the world. That's right, for some reason this world is just generating everything at the edges, so literally with one block to spare, here is the igloo, and as you can see, it does have a basement, so you can get yourself a free golden apple, a free, you know, I guess zombie villager, all the good stuff that you might want. It's kind of interesting to look at, I think, in my opinion. So let's just go down this thing at normal ladder speed. We'll drink a night vision potion too. Make things a little bit easier to see, in case you're thinking that's a problem. Yeah, let's look down here, and as you can see, oh yeah, what's that? It's a villager, it's a zombie villager, and then it's a golden apple to convert them. So also a splash potion. So go do that if you want to get the achievement really easily. Guess what? Bonus for the seed is free achievement. And yeah, this is just the third crazy structure at the edge of the world, or the fourth actually, if you include the Wooden Mansions, because we also have two other floating structures at the edge of the world, which look pretty darn insane too. So if we head all the way to the north up here, as you'll probably see. So again, we got some really weirdly shaped islands here. Like seriously, look at this one right here. I'm just saying. So yeah, as well as really weirdly shaped islands like this, we have a mushroom biome found just here. Again, it's always nice to find one of these. When you do type in any seed with balance seed turned on, you'll find this, and that's why it's wonderful when you do. Because again, I just feel like mushroom biomes underappreciated, one of the best in the game. Then of course, as we head to the far north of the world and scout along the top, you'll see how the jungle, the desert, which is found first, actually has a desert temple at the very edge of the world here. Again, floating over the edge into a really weird situation where you can't actually access the edge, and also going all the way down here, which again, fascinating little thing. It means there's a wooden mansion, a desert temple, which goes below the water for its TNT stuff. So if you want to blow this up, you know, honestly, I really do want to blow this up. So okay, as you can see, 2 golden apples, a knockback book. We've got another set of gold, so almost another golden apple. Basically, you can get some golden apples here, but if you do blow it up, because it's surrounded by water, instead of getting the usual experience where like caves will, start to appear. Oh, we're below the water level, so caves appear anyway. But instead of getting that, you're meant to get, because it's underwater, somewhere at least. Oh, because the sandstone goes to the water. Well, if you do a little bit of destroying, you can fill the thing with water if you want to. So there you go. There, look at that. Isn't that wonderful? But anyway, it looks kind of wonderful. We just made that weird sand glitch appear, which everyone loves. And yeah, there you go. Desert Temple, always fun, especially when you explode it. 10 out of 10, would recommend again. So let's talk about what else the seed has, because there's another floating temple very close to this one. That's right, it has every structure floating at the edge of the world, it feels like at least, because here we have a jungle temple floating at the very edge. So yeah, this jungle temple floats, it doesn't go all the way to the bottom, which I think is just a little bit fascinating, which means that if you are going to get or really crazy you could say, if you are going to get all of the, the loot from here, there's only 2 chests of course this time, you can go search this one, then you can break some blocks, go through here, and then you can search this chest, and then once you've got all the stuff, if you don't care about the rest, you can actually just dig straight down here to get into the ocean directly, like straight in if you really want to, and that means that you can do some really, in my opinion, interesting stuff by either draining the water below it, or just having a secret entrance below it, or using this as a house in some way. Again, I feel like the possibilities of a jungle temple detached from everything on every single side is just something that is begging to be used in some way, and maybe you see something, maybe you don't, but it's something that's crazy regardless. And then finally, if we look around the rest of the world, because there's a lot of other biomes, a lot of other hills, a lot of other stuff like that worth checking out, but there is also a stronghold which has the rather interesting distinction of not just being a stronghold, but also having a nice little crossover with another structure. This is one of my favorite things to show off on seeds. That's why I've been doing it a lot recently, because it seems like the strongholds recently have just been extra glitchy. So the stronghold on this seed, which is found just over here, so we'll fire one of these, just make sure we're going the right way. The stronghold found on this seed, again, I actually dug it into the ground, so it's harder for me to find than normal. Actually, as you can see right here, so is it over here? I thought it was just, okay, there we go, it's on the wrong side. So this is the stronghold for this world. It's found just over here, and it actually combines with a zombie spawner. So another golden apple, 3rd golden apple of the day, kind of nice if you ask me. But yeah, as you can see, zombie spawner, then we hop right here, and we're in the stronghold as normal. Kind of crazy thing to look at, kind of, honestly, I think it looks really great. And it's just one of those wonderful little things that you can find only on this seed. So yeah, essentially, this is one of the most impressive seeds in terms of just pure rarity, in terms of just pure insanity, and in terms of just pure craziness, you could say. I'm going to keep saying crazy because, You don't even understand what it means at this point. Yeah, so that I want to go back to this place here because, again, I really want to just clarify just the immense odds of this happening, because what has to happen is the 2 woodland mansions, one woodland mansion is rare by itself, but 1 woodland mansion has to generate in 1 roof forest, then there has to be another biome separating them, then another roof forest has to be somewhere nearby, and on the very edge of both of them, they both have to generate facing each other in the exact perfect way, and then one has to generate just before the other for this to happen. It's a very rare occurrence. It's very rare. It might not even work on some platforms like PS4 or something, but for this to happen is just an insanely rare thing, and I want us all to just appreciate just how insane, how crazy, how really unlikely this ever will be, and that, like, even though, this is a nuts thing, that it's something you can only really appreciate this one time, because of all the millions of Minecraft seeds that have been generated, only one time has this ever been found, and again, even then, it seems like it involves a little bit of fluke luck that only happens sometimes. So again, appreciate a little bit, appreciate that maybe we'll find something crazier one day, and that doesn't mean this is less crazy, it just means that the quality of seeds is always going up, and that if you think that Minecraft worlds are all the same, because again, some people say that it needs more biomes and stuff, just remember, stuff like this does in fact exist, and that it is, in fact, a real thing. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like if you liked it, share if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on if you want to see these videos daily on your homepage, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a nice day, everyone. Goodbye.